And the next pair coming up will be Antron Brown and Brandon Bernstein. Well, we have kind of a rare opportunity here because you don't see Tony Schumacher out in first round very often at all. But he is, and so he's come join us in the booth. That had to sting in front of the hometown crowd.
Well, it did. You know, it stings in front of any crowd. We're a great race team. We don't expect to get beat first round, and we don't do it often. It's far and few between, and we're just we're a little off key right now, you know. And it's not like I'm telling you guys something you don't already know. We watch the TV. Our car's running good, but not great. When it's this hot out, let's face it, man, you got to squeeze it down that racetrack, and we just didn't get it. I wish I had a couple cylinders out like that, like Rubnik did there.
Always helps on a day like this, doesn't it? Yeah. But I'll tell you, I don't think you've ever been up here, and it's just amazing the fact that, you know, 3 first-round losses in 3 years. You know, and I know how hard it is to win that first round. It's still an amazing stat for your team.
It is.
Well, Saturday Night Live, Seth Meyers returns to host the 2011 ESPYs presented by Capital One and Castrol Edge, live Wednesday at 9 o'clock. We'll see Greg Anderson or John Forrest. Can they get in it? I hope you voted. Tony nominated a couple years ago. It was a good time, wasn't it?
It was a great time. They do an incredible job.
Mike and I have never been invited.
I never won.
So here is Antron Brown, who, as we're heading off to the swing, I mentioned it before, it's worth saying again, swept the Western Swing in 2009.
Well, I know who you're rooting for in this matchup, your teammate Antron Brown, obviously, but what do you think it's going to take for him to get around Brandon Bernstein?
You know, they both went down the racetrack. I think it's going to be an incredibly close race. Antron's just an incredibly good lever. Brandon's going to have to step it up a little bit here. But, you know, I was kind of hoping to see Zizzo in the finals with Antron, but it's not going to happen.
There it is. Like you called it.
Antron
had the advantage off the starting line, never looked back.
So Antron Brown is going to move into the semifinals. He'll face either Del Worsham or Doug Coletta.
Well, we saw Antron got the advantage over Brandon off of the starting line. Take a look at our Ultramo right here and tell us what we're seeing here, Tony.
Well, obviously, and I wish that I could really get across how hard it is to stage shallow in the reaction time, and we can't always get across that, but it was a smooth clutch application. If you watch Brandon's car, that didn't pull the front wheels up, it was smooth, and he had to slide it. That's what we have to do. We have to get it moving, but when your track temperature is 120 degrees, it's extremely hot. Let's remember, asphalt is oil-based. The hotter it is, the more sun we have, the more oil that's coming up. You have to get the car to slide through. It's be like driving a stick shift and sliding off the clutch. That's what we're doing here, is it's trying to apply clutch. It's just starting to shake, and he's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to have to close his throttle here soon and pedal it, I'm sure. I don't know if we're going to see it, but, you know, the car just went out there, gets in a little bit of trouble, and game over. There, you start to spin the tires, and the race is done.
That's beautiful stuff, man. Thank you. Here's the onboard.
As you go on board with Antron, as you can see right there, it was a pretty good race up to the point that Brandon actually spun the tires, but after that point, that Mac O'Toole's car was gone.
Well, the weather, which we're keeping an eye on, possibility of pop-up thunderstorms. It's gone above the forecast. Air temperature is now 93 degrees.
Well, a lot of moisture in the air, and that track temperature 129 degrees. We saw temperatures when we didn't have any cloud cover. It went over 140 degrees yesterday, didn't it, Tony?
It did, and I'll tell you, this racetrack is phenomenal. They just repaved it, and they made it great for us. So we're going to get to see better racing that we might have seen in the past.